Hey guys. So, um, let me just start off by saying that I've already tried to do this video once and I got 17 minutes in and my computer quit because I needed more space. So, it's fine. That whole thing was botched anyways. So, here I am gonna try to do this again on my phone. Um, so this update, it's been 5 years since I did my last why video. Tonight is going to be more of an update as to what's really happened in the last 5 years and why I've decided to come back to this lifestyle. Uh, so it's going to be raw, it's going to be real. No bullshit, honestly, just me and my reasons. A lot of people have asked what I've been up to. A lot of people have wondered why I've jumped back on the wagon. So I'm here to tell you. So 5 years ago, just after I made that video, it was probably a couple months after, I think, if I remember correctly, I found out that I had an umbilical hernia. And so I went in to go have it checked out. And the trauma surgeon that I met up with told me, because I was a personal trainer, I was training at the Y. I was a group fitness trainer, and I also worked in the gym training clients. And so with that being said, after the amount of training that I had done, I had like 8 inches of extra skin hanging off my belly from when I had my boys, super close together. So they did some testing, some MRIs, whole 9 yards, found out that my abdominal wall was completely pulverized. There was nothing to it. So she basically told me that if I didn't get a full reconstruction of my abdomen done, then she would not go ahead with the hernia repair because there was no sense. There was no structure there. There was really no reason to go ahead with it. If I didn't get the skin taken care of, it was all going to pull on itself and I was just going to re-herniate anyways. So fast forward a couple months, I decided to go ahead with it. Caught so much flack from having to do the tummy tuck. I will tell you right now, I will still say it to this day, I will never, ever intentionally pay money to be in that much pain ever again. I have a really high pain tolerance and I will never go through that again. But fitness has been my life for, oh God, 9 years. And I wasn't about to give up that dream just because, I was physically unable to do some things. So ended up going through with it. Again, caught a bunch of flack from a bunch of people, basically about the fact, because I've always preached, love yourself. It all comes from within. It's not about physical appearances. It's literally about the health of your body. It's about, how you feel on the inside, up here, in here. It's literally all about you. Everybody is beautiful. We're just all beautiful in our own different ways. And so I caught a lot of backlash because I had taken such a physical approach. Nobody really seemed to understand why I had to do it. I really had to do it to further my fitness career. So that being said, I did it. And I kind of jumped further after I had my surgery. I jumped further into taking on clients in my local town and trying to formulate a couple of group fitness activities. I trained people for a boot camp. Super, super fun. Love boot camp. All that kind of stuff. And as time went on, I started to get backlash again about my fitness posts and about my before and afters, my progress pictures. I was literally having people like do this whole thing as they were walking by me in Walmart. I was starting to lose friends because they didn't dare to go out to eat with me because I was a personal trainer and can't have dessert when you're a personal trainer, apparently. Oh, there's a moth flying around my phone. Anyways, so yeah, I started to get a lot of negative feedback. There wasn't a lot of support for what I was trying to do. That's going to drive me nuts. Got him. Anyways, sorry. So, I mentally and emotionally, it broke me. So I ended up taking a step back from the fitness train for a while and started job searching. I didn't have a job at the time that I did my tummy tuck and was trying to instill physical fitness in our hometown. So things didn't really pan out. Things didn't go smooth. They didn't go the way that I was really hoping that they would. I said, and I still mean to this day in my last video, that if I can do this stuff right here, I gotta tell you, by the way, I'm super nervous. Like, even thought about changing my shirt because I'm so nervous that I'm like, okay. So just to let you guys know, this is not easy for me to be doing. But if it takes me, to do 20 minutes of talking like this and coming out of my comfort zone to get somebody else to change their life for the better, I'll do it. I'll absolutely do it. So I very much stand by that to this day. If this is what it takes for somebody to get themselves out of bed in the morning, even if it's just to brush their teeth, doesn't have to be to work out, doesn't have to be to eat right. As long as somebody kind of finds that inner strength to keep going, then I have done my job here. And this nervous feeling that I'm having is totally worth it. So with that being said, I didn't have a job when I did the tummy tuck. And so I got a bunch of negative backlash and ended up kind of putting my fitness career on the back burner because I honestly couldn't take the hate. I couldn't take it. It was breaking my heart. I just wanted to truly help people. And I had to take a step away. So my husband and I actually decided we'd had enough of the rat race. We'd had enough of the hourly pay. He'd had enough of overnights. And I obviously didn't have a job, couldn't find one in the area. So I contacted one of my really good friends from school and told her that we were looking for a new adventure. And so we ended up coming down to Down East Maine. She opened her doors and opened her arms to us and her heart, and her husband, same thing. Kind of just like big old group hug thing, like bring it in, and we came down to Jonesport. I shipped my husband on a lobster boat for the first time in his life at 4:30 in the morning. I had literally just finished a shift at the local bar. I was doing like weird 3-hour shifts over there just to get some bread and milk money. And we got down here to Jonesport at 4:30 in the morning, shipped him off and said, love ya, hope it goes good. We never left. We literally have stayed in Jonesport since that weekend. Called my mom and told her that she had my kids until we could find a place to live, find a place to put our house, whole 9 yards. And fast forward 5 years later, we've got a beautiful 200-year-old farmhouse here in Jonesport, and couldn't be more happy with how it's turning out. We've put a ton of work into it, a ton of time, mostly just my husband and I, but I mean, we've had help along the way. Couldn't do it without everybody that has helped us in the community. Want to say thank you, absolutely, to everybody that has lended a hand, especially with this house. This house it's going to be a work in progress for the rest of my life, but that's besides the point. So within that 5 years, we moved down to Jonesport, and shortly after that, I actually met up with my very best friend, very best lifelong friend, in Rhode Island, and went to a fitness competition with her. She actually was competing. And I really thought, and I had fallen off the wagon, so I was so totally not in the best shape of my life. I really thought it was going to be like this event of people that just, like super stuffed shirt, like care only about themselves. They're not worried about anything else. And boy, was I wrong. The fitness comp world, some of the most amazing people I've ever met in my life. Hands down. Super, super supportive of everybody. And literally everybody has a story. Everybody has a reason as to why they started their journey. And listening to all of it and hearing it, it all resonated with me. It was a 3-day event, and man, I came home, and after being off the wagon so long, I was ready to kick some ass. Mindy helped me along the way. She helped me kind of with, where I needed to go with things. I had also talked about the lady that helped me really start my journey. Tracy was her name, or is her name, I should say. I actually got a hold of her husband, who was a trainer, and we got together, talked about things, and so he agreed to be my trainer for competing in fitness competition. Went super hard for about 2 or 3 months. And it was either the day of or the day after I graduated to my weighted bar that I have a little padded bar over here that doesn't have any weight to it. And I was super excited because I'd finally graduated to a big boy bar. And I went to go stand up out of a deadlift and felt a pop and an intense burning sensation. Come to find out, I had re-herniated my belly button after having surgery. I ended up getting MRIs, testing done, the whole 9 yards, and they took my weights away from me for 6 to 8 weeks. And to help with the initial injury, it's never going to heal. I still have it to this day. It's actually worse now. I'll explain that in a minute. But so it was like everything that I had been working for was gone in a matter of seconds. I blamed myself. I just kind of fell apart. And after the 6 to 8 weeks, I kind of took some time, got my head screwed on straight, started training again. I started, low weight, high rep, whole 9 yards, and had actually started tracking my macros, which IIFYM, if you're looking to track your macros, 110% the way to go. Awesome program. I support it 110%, worked phenomenally for me. The only problem with that is that I have 2 small children and a husband, or I had at the time 2 small children and a husband. It's really hard to be realistic about separating meals. You want to sit down and you want to eat with your family. You want to have that time with them at the end of the day, especially when both parents are working full time. You don't see your kids because they're in school or they're doing school activities. So you want that family time at the end of the day to say, hey, how you doing? What'd you do today? So I felt kind of outcasted, and I got burnt out on trying to separate my lifestyle from theirs. So I actually ended up losing, I think it was close to 30 pounds, 30 or 35. And felt great, whole 9 yards. Ended up getting a job at the jail here in the county. So I became a correctional officer. Loved the job. Pretty badass job, if you ask me. It was awesome. Unfortunately, it's a good thing, but I got promoted to full-time, and with that comes getting kicked back to nights. So I was on a rotation for nights, which wasn't horrible. And I say that because my husband was on off season for fishing. So he was home. He didn't need to report to work or anything. So the schedule for me kind of worked. I could, go to sleep when I needed to. He was there to take care of the kids, whole 9 yards. But my circadian rhythm was so screwed up while I was on nights. Trying to keep any sort of schedule for yourself, let alone a family of 4 at the time, impossible. Absolutely impossible to function when you work a night schedule, no matter what. So that fishing season was quickly approaching, and we sat down and realized that with me being on nights, I would only ever see him or the kids every other Sunday for the next year. Literally the next year. So I decided to go try to find a boat to get on, go lobster fishing, just like my husband was doing. Found one and absolutely loved it. Totally dig the job. It is the most beautiful job. It's bittersweet. It's raw. It is hard ass work, and you are pooped at the end of the day, but it is so rewarding. You get to see things on a lobster boat that most people would never get the chance to see in their entire life. And fell completely in love with the career. A month after I ended my first season, found out we were having baby number 3. And so that idea got tanked for the next season. I talked a little bit about being super nauseous with my second child. This one was a complete nightmare. I was on every drug you could imagine to prevent preterm labor. I had a shortened cervix. I was super, super sick again. I was in the hospital for probably 75% of my pregnancy, trying to keep the little guy in. And I was on bed rest right from 12 weeks. Hopefully my doctor won't be watching this, but not that I obeyed those rules too much. But I did when I could. I promise I was as good as I could be mentally. So, yeah. Anyways. So, yeah, I was basically confined to not doing a damn thing for the entire 9 months that I was pregnant with him. And went through some major pain because I had already had that tummy tuck done. They reconstructed. Not only did they do a tummy tuck where they tighten up your muscles and they make it all cute and pretty and, get rid of the excess skin, they literally reconstructed my entire abdominal wall. My surgeon had to go in and basically reform my abs like hamburger patties. And so it was not your run-of-the-mill tummy tuck per se. So when he did that, everything was super tight and not necessarily conducive to having a third child. So lots of things separated, lots of things stretched in places they really couldn't. And after about 2 or 3 months after I had the baby, I went through postpartum depression. And oh boy, I will be completely honest in saying that was by far one of the scariest points I'd ever reached in my life. I thought I had lows before. Totally thought I had lows. Not anything like postpartum depression. I will tell you that. I used to be one of the first ones to be like, man, how can that mom be so crazy? Like, how does it even happen? I will never in my life ever question a mother who is going through postpartum depression and what type of decisions that they make. I was one of those. When you go through it, you know that something's off, but your brain is not telling you that something is really wrong. And I went through some pretty heavy stuff. Even to this day, it makes me sick to think about what my family went through because I was experiencing postpartum depression. Finally pinpointed what was going on and said, you know what? This needs to friggin' change. It needs to change now. For the safety of me, my kids, the whole 9 yards. And the only thing I've ever turned to really truly make me happy is physical fitness. As long as I'm busting my ass every day and I am tired at the end of the day, I get a good endorphin release. I'm good. And I didn't want to be on medication. I'm very much, I don't even take Tylenol unless I absolutely am dying. I guess you could probably say I'm a little stubborn or stupid, whatever. My mom would probably say I'm stupid. But, I mean, I didn't want to be medicated. I wanted to be able to think clearly, focus, do what I needed to do for me. So I ended up stepping back on the train and got my head on a little bit straighter. It just, something didn't feel right. It just, something wasn't coming together. I wasn't ready, honestly. Emotionally, mentally, I wasn't ready. But it helped me get through what I needed to get through at that time. The endorphin release, changed everything. I was able to turn my mind around. I was able to turn, my emotions around, get a handle on how I was feeling, and kind of go from there. But I did drop it again. I mean, I spent a year at home with the kids, just kind of trying to figure out really where I wanted to go, what I wanted to do. And then I ended up finding another boat. Jumped back on the boat, on a lobster boat for the 2019 season. Had the most wonderful time of my life. But I will say, I will admit this right here and now, that I leaned on fishing to give me the fitness that I knew I didn't want to complete at home. I didn't want to do that for myself. I literally wanted somebody to make me get up in the morning and go on the boat so that I knew I didn't have to work out that day. I was just completely burnt out on anything fitness related. I just wanted to mindlessly have to, function fitly, basically, for lack of a better term. So, I leaned on fishing and figured, hey, I'll just lose it all in the summer. No big deal. I won't gain it back in the winter. Guess what? I totally gained it back in the winter. Absolutely gained it back in the winter. Tenfold, because I went from working, sun ups to sundown, and screeching halt came when it was time to pull traps. Guess what? Here I am, no calorie burn, shitty food, and got myself way in over my head again. Ended up at like a little over 200 pounds. I think it was like 215. And knew I was in a bad place. Knew I was in a horrible mess that I needed to dig myself out of. The reason I have been so hesitant on kind of putting myself out there and being that rock for people, I guess, you could say, is because I'm afraid of being shunned. I'm afraid of living in a small community and people looking at me differently like they did before when I was in my hometown. I caught flack from people that I never honestly thought I would ever catch anything from. I didn't expect it. And I don't want that to happen here in our perfect little community that we have now. And I mean that wholeheartedly and totally sincerely. So I have been super nervous to make this update. I've been super nervous to put my face back out there and show my journey all over again. But in January, I hit a wall. And I finally was like, you know what? I'm going to buckle down and I'm going to do this because I need this. And I had several people in the community that had come to me and asked me, what do I eat? What do I do? How do I start this whole thing? So I figured, you know what? They all want to know at once. And honestly, I'm human and I need the help. I need the support. I need somebody to do this with. I formulated a weight loss group in our little itty bitty town of Jonesport. So my fitness group members are absolutely awesome. God love them. They don't give up. They're stubborn as hell and they are tough as nails. And they have gotten me through to where I am now. Hands down. Absolutely. They gave me a reason not to hide and they gave me a reason not to give up. And I didn't know how bad I needed it until tonight when I'm sitting right here pouring my heart out in this updated video. So sincere thank you to all of my weight loss group members. You guys friggin' rock. And I can't even say that enough. You guys are the reason that I am doing this right now because I wouldn't be here without you. But I guess this is really hard for me because I don't want to instill any negative energy upon anybody. This update is literally just to tell you guys where I'm at. So been working out hardcore. This will be the 4th week. Well, this is the 4th week. And I gotta tell you, if you haven't made the decision yet to help yourself, do it. Whatever it takes. I said in the video before, my older video there, that I want to be that person that, is the reason that somebody can pick up the phone and say, hey, I'm having a bad day. I made some bad choices. You know what? We're all human. We all make bad choices. It's what we decide to do after those bad choices that counts. I would really, really wholeheartedly like to get into motivational speaking. So that's another reason that I'm doing this crazy, crazy stuff. Sitting in front of everybody, pouring my heart out right now. So I'm excited. I'm excited to be back. I'm excited to walk on this new journey. And I'm excited that I have a steadfast group of people that are willing to walk this with me. I am so over the moon about watching them literally change before my eyes. I'm not just talking about, fitness level. I'm not talking about inches lost. I'm not talking about weight. I'm talking about people that showed up at my very first meeting that I held. Didn't even think anybody was going to show up, honestly. And they said, I need help and we need your help. Those are some pretty big shoes to fill, especially when I had been so out of touch with it for so many years. And the drive, they just keep going. We meet every week and the energy is amazing. We're not afraid to say, we've done, we've ate a piece of cake. We've ate, our food's not so good today. It's not so good yesterday. My water's on point. Just awesome group. I can't say enough about them. And they have reminded me why I started this in the first place. I started this to help people exactly like them. Literally didn't know which way was up. Literally didn't know even where to start. And we are now trucking on the right path. I mean, 110% full steam ahead. So I've been reminded as to why I get up in the morning and why I bust my ass in this gym that I'm sitting in right now. Why I talked my husband into building me a gym space. Love you, honey. And I remember why it's so important. I'm watching people literally change their ways in front of me. I'm literally watching them change into different people. Personality-wise, mentally-wise. Mental health is so important. And I hope that by doing this video, I'll be able to help more people. That's really all that it's about. I'm so thankful to be able to be in this position to help the next person that comes along. If me shitting my pants right now doing this video helps somebody to come forward and say, hey, I need help, I'm stuck in a really bad spot, then it was all worth it. I'm going to continue with my updates and I'm going to continue with my posts, my progress pictures, the whole 9 yards. I had kind of fallen off the wagon with that as well because I was getting a lot of negative comments. I was getting a lot of negative comments on my progress pictures and the fact that I am not afraid to let it all hang out. I was having people physically come up to me and tell me that, they wouldn't spend time with me and or go out to eat with me because they didn't want to be caught not eating a salad. Like, sorry, everybody. Newsflash. I eat cake. Like, I eat junk food just like everybody else does. I'm human. And a lot of people were forgetting that before. So it has taken me a lot to do this video. a lot of strength. But if I don't hide, maybe somebody else won't either. So I'm ready to friggin' nail this. I am ready to finish this program that I'm on, which, by the way, is an amazing program. If you have any questions, ask me. It's awesome. But my posts, I can promise you, will never be fake. I'm not here to show you that my life is glorious. I'm not here to show you that, you know, I can crush every single day, because I'm totally not going to. I want to be real. I want to be real for everybody that's watching. And I hope that by doing this video, everybody will realize that I am still human, and I'm going to show you the ups, I'm going to show you the downs, I'm going to show you every day in between, because somebody out there that literally cannot peel themselves out of bed will see it. And I can guarantee you I've been there. I've been there. It's friggin' scary. You don't know which way to turn. You don't know what to do. You feel like the whole world is against you, and sometimes you don't even know how to fix it. So if you need help fixing it, don't be afraid to reach out. There is never any judgment. It's just, what can we do to help? So anyways, I think I've talked your guys' ear off long enough, but I wanted to thank everybody for taking the time to watch this. And at this point, I'm 30 years old, and I've changed in ways that somebody coming to me with a negative response to what I'm trying to do to better my life, it won't have any effect on me. Because I know what I want and what I need. And I know what it takes to help others get out of that rut as well. So, yeah, I cannot wait to open this journey back up. I cannot wait to help the people of my community. I can't wait to see where my fitness group is at come 6 months from now. I'm just so glad to be back. So stay tuned for some pretty badass stuff. And this is me. This is who I am. So I really, really thank you all for watching. Have a good night.